I was waiting for some friends one day in the mall, and just uh, went to go find somewhere to sit down, and ended up sitting next to a lady there, and we struck up a conversation and just started visiting, and just felt prompting from the Holy Spirit to share the three circles. So I asked her if she had heard the gospel before, and she said no, she hadn't. And so I shared it with her, and when we get to the part of which circle do you think you're in, she said the brokenness circle. And so I said, which circle would you like to be in? And she said the wholeness, which is usually pretty typical when sharing the three circles. And then I said, what is preventing you today from being in the wholeness circle? And she just thought for a moment, and she said addiction. And so I shared my past and how Jesus set me free completely of all addiction that I had struggled in for years. And as I was sharing with her, the Holy Spirit started showing me pictures of some abuse and trauma that she had been through earlier on. And so I started sharing my testimony of the abuse and trauma I went through starting at a young age, and how Jesus had healed me of this abuse and trauma, and which actually ended up leading into the addictions later on. And the way that Jesus had just healed me in ways that nothing the world could offer could even come close to bringing that healing that Jesus brings. And she says, I want to give my life to Jesus. I want to invite him into my life. And so we prayed right there, and she repented of her sin and invited him in, and she prayed to receive the Holy Spirit. And it was just a really sweet moment there. And, when I used to go and evangelize, or when I was out and about, and I would pray, and ask the Lord for things like, would you give me a word of knowledge for this person, or things like that. But I started changing that and saying, God, would you give me your heart for this person? God, would you give me your love for this person? And it's just shifted everything in evangelism for me. Those things like the word of knowledge and whatnot, that just comes naturally. I don't have to ask for it. What I need, he knows, and he'll just provide it in those moments. But I just pray for his heart and his love for the person, and it shifts everything. And making that the goal is so important, just to share the Father's heart with others, and what we've received that we get to share with others is just so key. It's so important to make that our goal. And even if we don't see someone give their life to Christ right there, and if seeds planted, whatever it is, but we make love our highest goal, that's really what matters. And so, yeah.